My name is Shawnee McBride, and I am discussing critical thinking and ethical behavior. In considering a thesis, I thought about how critical thinking and ethical behavior impacted would impact success in my academic and career future. And the main points that came to mind was character development, problem solving, and a motivated sense of responsibility. I want to delve a little bit deeper into the main points that I selected in my thesis because life is not compartmentalized, one aspect affects another. So when it comes to character development, it's who you are, and it's knowing oneself. It's knowing who you are, and those are that distinct set of qualities that set you apart from all the other job candidates. Additionally, um, critical thinking and ethical behavior, it has a lot to do in your ability to be a problem solver because you take um, who you are, um, your life experience, and the information that you learned over the years, as well as your different skill sets, and you're a troubleshooter. You're able to solve the day-to-day problems, not so much with direction. You figure it out. Additionally, I selected motivated sense of responsibility as a main point because it makes a difference in the workplace when you're a self-starter and you don't have to consistently be directed by your employer as far as the job task. You don't pass the buck or blame someone else. You accept responsibility and you're accountable for for your own job performance. I believe that I am dependable and confident in the workplace. So, when considering the question, how does critical thinking and ethical thought impact my future career or even my current career, I know that I live by a standard where it's based on doing the right thing for myself, for my family, for my employer, um, in such a manner that it's the right thing for society as a whole. Additionally, um, critical thinking and ethical thought, it builds character. Uh, my decisions are made based on good information. I make them objectively and with integrity. Based on my life experience, I know that critical thinking is important to career success. I was unemployed for about a year and a half. And when you're unemployed, you realize that nothing is for certain. So you have to appreciate what comes, and learn how to persevere and create your own opportunities. And being laid off for a year, I realized in order to create future employment opportunities and to build a career, I had to go back to school. Um, Additionally, critical thinking is important to career success through helping you develop creative problem solving techniques um, that yields more or less a structured approach to solving problems and looking at different arguments. And when it comes to interpreting the outcomes, you have multiple things to consider so that you're able to make the best possible decision. I found this really interesting quote from Thomas Lombardo that pretty much supports my stance or my argument. It instead of assuming that the primary purpose of education is simply theories, facts, and skills, he proposes that the central goal of education is the development of people of character. And then Those people of character is going to take the information and knowledge that they accumulate through education to benefit themselves and others. So, in considering critical thinking in the workplace, the purpose is to take what you learn to benefit yourselves and others in the workplace as well. It could be applied to every aspect of life. Historically, employers and educational institutions have adapted ethical practices and policies within their organizational structures. As an employee, I many times have signed off on ethical policies and procedures. That kind of gives you an idea of how great an impact ethics is in the workplace. But in addition to that, ethics plays a huge role in personal development. Um, and acclimating to a career, a part of that approach is understanding the company's culture and vision. So some of the things to consider is how ethical thinking affects, your personal development. It's reflected in the values, and these are things that are displayed as an employee. These are things that ensure career success. In considering the different categories, deontology, utility, I think virtue-based ethics is more suitable to who I am. Because I think character encompasses all things, and it's reflected in the decisions that you make. And most importantly, the decisions that I make, they're generally based on doing the right thing. I think if you make your decisions in that manner, of course you're going to consider all things. You're going to consider the consequences. So I think virtue-based ethics is inclusive of all things, and it's reflected in who you are in the workplace. And it's consistent. And a lot of times people who tend to follow virtue-based ethics, they're generally referred, and because they're known for their abilities and their character. When you think about critical thinking, you think about ethics, you can't help but think about the individual and the fact that every person is unique and they have something to offer in the workplace. A lot of what makes you who you are is where you come from, your values, your life experience, your work experience, and all the skill sets that you built over time. So I strongly believe that the diversity is what create successful teams, and successful teams um, ensures job security because everyone has something to bring to the table.